With a handshake and a smile, Cambodia's warring politicians declared an end to the year-long political deadlock. But as the opposition prepares finally to fill its seats in parliament, is it too early to declare the crisis truly over? Hello, I'm Taimur Nabili. Welcome to the program. Tonight we're taking you to Cambodia, where the Prime Minister Hun Sen and the country's main opposition leader Sam Rainsy seem to have agreed on a political deal after almost a year after the elections were held. Now, although the opposition won 55 of the 123 parliamentary seats in that election, the opposition charged the ruling party with fraud and intimidation, and therefore boycotted Parliament, and this set in motion one of the longest political deadlocks in the kingdom's history. But now, under a July 22nd accord, Sam Rainsy's Cambodian National Rescue Party will be able to make a couple of wins. It gets a license for its own television channel. It's been given control of half the 10 parliamentary commissions, including those that deal with human rights and corruption. And most important of all, according to Sam Rainsy, Hun Sen has agreed to revamp the country's election committee. That committee will now be made up of 9 members, 4 of which will come from the opposition. The other 4 come from the ruling party. The final member will be a non-governmental appointee selected by a consensus of both these parties. So, has this deadlock agreement managed to spawn a new era of reform and democracy in Cambodia? Joining me to discuss this is Yim Sovan, spokesperson and chief executive on the Committee for the Opposition, Cambodia National Rescue Party, and in Bangkok, Dr. Vanarith Chung from the University of Leeds. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for being with us tonight. Yim Sovan, let me just begin with you, if I might. The CNRP was supposed to take its seats in Parliament today. I don't think that happened, if I'm correct. Can you tell me what is happening now? What's your plan?
There's still a long way to go. The agreement reached between Cambodian National Rescue Party, CNRP, and Cambodian People Party on the 22nd is a step forward in an extended fight for change in Cambodia. We have successfully negotiated for the reform of the National Election Committee, for the reform of balance of power in the National Assembly, and also the rights to the TV and radio stations, among other reforms that will bring our society to a positive direction in the future.
Right.
The CPP are no longer be able to do whatever they desire, as they have often done before.
But when do you plan to actually take those seats in Parliament?
There's still a lot of things to be complete before we enter the Parliament.
Can you tell me what?
We divide 3 groups, a working group. They are working on the amendment of the Constitution, the amendment of the internal regulation of the National Assembly, and the amendment of the national election laws. So we need to complete everything, the legal framework, and also the completion of the nomination of the member of the National Election Committee before we take off and then we enter the National Assembly. Though there is still 1 week or 2 weeks to go.
Allow me to press you a little bit on this and ask you for more detail on what exactly it is that you're trying to finalize on these agreements, because these agreements were made on the 22nd, that was a full week ago, and the impression that we had was that the understanding was complete. So what remains to be cleared up?
We need to discuss in detail what we are going to amend the Constitution. You know, we need to, before the National Election Committees that we put into the law on the election, and now we want to put into the Constitution. So we need to make the amendment of some article of the Constitution. And secondly, we need to refer to amend the internal regulation of the National Assembly in order to install the roles of the opposition party and some articles that can ensure the balance of power between the executive branch and legislative branches.
Panorith Chung, let me come to you if I might. What do you make of the agreement that was struck last week and of what we're hearing right now from Yim Soban?
Well, it was a political breakthrough that both leading political parties decided to finally solve the political deadlock that lasted for almost a year. And I think a more concrete action plan needs to be taken, especially with regards to the reform of the National Election Committee and the reform of the National Assembly. So I think it may need some time in order